Hey guys! So, today's video that I posted about the other day, I actually wanted to see how much of a reaction I would get out of that, because I wasn't sure, like, how many people would want to watch the video or, like, take some of it in. So that's why I did that. I normally wouldn't do that, but I did. So, today's video is about honesty. Now, I think that there are a lot of levels of honesty. That might sound really weird, but this is what I mean. Like, you have your honesty with Jesus. You have your honesty with your friends. You have your honesty with your parents. You have your honesty with your siblings, your little gang, like whatever it may be. Like, there's just different types. Like with God, you kind of have to be really honest. Like, he knows everything anyway. Like, I feel like if you tried lying to God, that would not work. Yeah, I feel like that just would not work. And then, like, the honesty with your parents. Like, a lot of kids nowadays will have that, well, they'll tell the parents half of what was going on, or even a quarter of what was going on. Even if, like, it wasn't even that bad. Like, it could be, like, just a silly situation, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's that honesty. Or the honesty with your friends. That's one that always gets me. Is, like, you can have one friend, and then you kind of have another friend that you hang out with. But to one friend, you look like this really awesome, amazing Christian, and you're always like, you're a godly person. Like, you just have that light bursting from you, right? So, then you have your friend that likes to party and likes to go out and get drunk and get high all the time. But you follow along into that. Now, what I'm saying here is it's like having two faces. And it really sucks. Like, I feel like if you are, and a lot of the time, a lot of people who, like, go into that whole party scene, the drugs and alcohol scene, they do it to fit in. And it really sucks. Because, like, I'm the kind of girl, guys, you know that I'm me. Nothing changes when I'm hanging out with different people. Nothing whatsoever. I'm completely upfront and real. And that is how I think a lot of people should just be, is just upfront and real. Like, this is who I am. And not a lot of people do that anymore. So it really sucks, but there it is. I have a friend, and I'm not going to say her name, but she is the most Jesus-loving freak ever, and I love it. Like, this girl is just so, like, she's there. Like, and that is her all the time, no matter who she's with, who she's around, what's going on. Like, that is just who she is. She's just constantly tries so hard to be so positive and so uplifting, and so, like, she knows what's going on. And she doesn't change her attitude when she goes to school. She doesn't change her attitude in front of her parents. She doesn't change her attitude in front of me. She doesn't change her attitude in front of her sister. Like, that is just who she is. She is just herself. So, what I'm saying here is like, a lot of times, honesty can be at a different level. And what I'm saying is if you are at that point where you have two different sides, like, your two different sides of honesty, then I feel like you should probably fix that. So let's start there. A lot of the time, we have a tendency to, and we don't even mean to, but our attitudes will change compared to who we're with. Because it's like a little circle that we just kind of go around in. And so, like, say, I'm going to give you a couple different categories of people, and then I'm going to give you a little human being example. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope so. So you have person number one, who is just this outgoing, flamboyant, fun-loving girl. Okay? Then you have the playboy, who just doesn't care what anybody else says about him. He doesn't care, like, how bad his life really is, and he just is into that whole party, drugs, alcohol, playboy scene. Nobody likes that. 3, you have the calm, shy, I'm not going to talk to anybody person. 4, you have your motherly type. You're ahead of the game, the always completely knowing of everything that's going on, always busy kind of person. And then 6, you have your everything person. And the everything person is a person who just goes with whatever is going on, doesn't really know where they stand, kind of thing. And there's 2 types of everything persons, and we're going to be using those 2 types, but just bear with me here. And then you have that point that they're like, oh, well, they're the party scene. They're the Christian. They're literally trying to be everything. They're the ones that fit in. They're the ones that don't. They're the ones that try really hard to be among the cool kids or stuff like that. And then you have the other everything person who really is everything. You've got the flamboyant, the kind of shy, the competent, the partier, the rebel, the Christian girl, even though, like, that's just how some people are. Like, I've never understood it. Trust me, I'm an everything girl. But not to the point where I party and am a rebel. Not a rebel. I could be a rebel at some points, but hey. But anyway, but like that's what I mean by an everything person. Is like the person that can be really shy, or the person that can be really or the person that can just be like really, or like stuff like that. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. And there's always something. There's always something among someone that everything in our lives triggers us to be the way we are. But there is something that can actually help us determine who you are. And it's called honesty. Honestly, honesty is the best policy. I know I just kind of sort of rhymed. Pardon that. But honestly, I think like there's a lot of times when we get so caught up in something and we'll end up like exaggerating something, and that's not being fully honest. Or like there's other times when we'll tell a lie because we want to cover ourselves up, and that's not honest either. Or my ultimate favorite, the fact that we have Christians who say they're Christians and go around and pretend that they're walking that walk and look like they're walking that walk, but in their personal life, they're really not. They are far, far, far away from that. So there's that. And honestly, that is the one thing I wanted to touch base on here. A lot of us, the reason why I brought up the little circle of people is because I was just trying to show you guys like how many different types of people there are and different ways we can figure out how to be honest with ourselves to realize who we are. Because to realize who you are, I believe that you have to be honest with yourself. Like, I'm going to use an example here for a minute. The other day, came to a very sudden realization that I have grown up a lot, and I noticed a change in the way I looked, in the way I spoke, the way I carried myself, and just different things like that. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, I wasn't that good of a person a couple of years ago, blah, 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 blah. And I started like kind of dogging on myself, even though none of it was really true, but that's how insecurities are. And insecurities, I'm sorry, are false. I'm sorry. Everything in this world is beautiful. You are beautiful. Even if you tell yourself every day, oh, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm not good enough, I'm not popular, I'm not the cool kid. Stop. And have some honesty with yourself, because you are beautiful. Yeah, think about that one. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are spontaneous and fun and loving and kind and amazing in every single way, because that is how God made you. And that's just how you are. And that is some honest stuff right there. So you need to like get up every single day and look in that mirror and say, I am beautiful. I am strong. I am independent. I am confident. And once you start telling yourself that every single day, you'll get to a point where it becomes your reality, because the more you dog on yourself, the more you tell yourself, oh well, I'm not good enough, blah 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 blah, blah, the more you're going to believe it, the more you're going to fall into that, this is what I am, this is who I am, this is how I am. And that's not true. But the more you tell yourself, I am beautiful, I am confident, I am strong, I am a child of God, like, the more you tell yourself that, the more you'll believe that. And that is actually psychologically proven. I actually have an I am list hanging in front of my bathroom mirror. Like, it's right under there. And every morning when I'm doing my hair and my makeup and everything like that, even though I really don't wear a lot of makeup, but every time I look in that mirror, I always say that I am list. Even if I don't even have a lot of time, I'll sit there and I'll read it to myself. Like, I'll be like, okay, this is how it is. Even if I don't believe it. Like, trust me guys, I have days that I don't believe it. And honestly, like, just get up. Be a king, be a queen, because you are. Be honest with yourself. Now, moving on to what I was saying before and kind of got sidetracked. Any hoodles. The subject of being the Christian that walks and talks and says, oh, well, I'm the Christian, I'm a good kid, blah, 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 and doesn't really walk the walk, honestly brings me to a verse that is in the Bible and is pretty awesome. When you actually are, like, fully walking in faith with God, you are fully there. Like, just let that shine. Just tell people about God. Just, like, be that light that they see, because you never know if you're going to be the only Christian that they ever lay eyes on. You don't know that. So, like, make that effort. Even if it seems weird, just be like, hey, you want to talk about some Jesus? Like, trust me, I've actually done this, and sometimes it does not go okay. But at the same time, you plant that seed in their mind that says, well, maybe. And it gets them thinking a little bit. So, there's one thing you can think about. Even if it's the weirdest thing you'll ever do, just go for it. Be honest. Be bold. So that brings me to a verse, and it is Luke 8:16, and this is from the KJV Bible, and it says, no man, when he hath lighted a candle, cover it with a vessel, or put it under a bed, but set it on a candlestick, that they which enter in may see the light. So what that's saying right there is, if you have that light inside you, if you are, like, fully God-driven and, like, you're good in your walk, and you're trying to, like, cover that up to be a cool kid, guys, don't do that. Just don't do it. Because that's basically by putting on the facade of the cool kid, of the popular girl, or the number one player on the volleyball team. Not that that's a bad thing, but, like, being that kind of person and then just kind of treating everybody like, nope, I'm not going to talk about this with you because, well, I'm the cool person and this is kind of a weird subject. Like, I can't do this because it would make me not cool. Like, no, sweetie, no. Because when you talk about Jesus, that is the coolest thing ever! Like, can't you get that through your head? Because I have so many people that are like, I want to talk about Jesus, but it's a weird subject. Like, I've actually gotten messages like this, you guys. Yeah, I'm calling some of y'all out. I've gotten messages from some of you guys saying, like, I want to talk about Jesus, but it's, like, a weird subject. Like, it's not going to turn out right. I actually got one message, and this is what kind of brought this on. This was, like, a few months back, and I honestly have been thinking about making this video for a long time. I just haven't figured out a way to, like, actually say it, and now the words are finally coming to me. So, this person sent me a message, and they were just like, I really want to talk about God, but with my popularity status, they use this word, with my popularity status, I can't talk about Jesus because that would just be weird, and it would just be really bizarre. How do you think, like, I could talk about Jesus without that? Now, we're going to touch on base on that for a second, because I answered this message, but at the same time, I've also been trying to find a way to, like, answer this question for other people. Honestly, if you feel like because you are popular, like you're like top dog, because you're the one that everybody looks up to, and you're worried that when you actually talk about Jesus, like, they're going to, like, downgrade you, then do it. Like, talk about Jesus. Be that light, because that just makes you even better. The fact, and it makes you feel good when you talk about Jesus, because, like, oh my gosh, good old-fashioned Jesus talk is amazing. And, like, when you just cover all that up, it kind of makes you feel guilty, because trust me, I have felt guilty when I did not talk about Jesus sometimes. Like, I've had moments where it's like, I really should tell this person about Jesus. We should have some Jesus talk. Like, we should do this. And inevitably, I don't. And I'm like, when I get home, I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, why did I not do this? I should have done this, because, like, that person might not ever hear the word of God, ever. And I'm like, oh, why did I do this? I had an opportunity. Why didn't I? And, like, I kind of feel regret when I do that, and I kind of feel like a lot of people do if they don't. Does that make sense? Because I feel like it does, but I don't know. But what that's saying there is, like, if you have that light and you talk about it, even if you are the top dog, if you actually love Jesus, you will talk about Jesus instead of covering everything up and being popular. Because when you cover all that up, it kind of goes to show that you don't love Jesus enough to lose your popularity. Did you ever think of that one? To lose your cool kidness. There is a subject for you. Did you just see that? To lose your cool kidness, you actually, even if you did, like, as long as you made that effort, God would understand. And as long as you're honoring God with every single thing you do, every step you take, He will bless you for that. And, like, I feel like we need to talk about God more, because, like, I have felt such a downgrade in this world. We have all hit a point in our lives where we're just kind of set in our ways, doing our own thing, and it sucks. It's awful. It's like, what's going on? But, like, it's awful because I see all these amazing people, and I see all of these people struggling, and they want to talk about Jesus. They want to better themselves and better their lives and see what else is out there. Like, I've literally had people actually ask me, like, who is God? And I'm like, all right, well, let's talk about this. So, like, that is one thing that I wish, like, a lot of people could get in the habit of, is to just talk about God, like, make it a daily thing. Because, like, you can sit and shoot the breeze about the Lions and the Patriots. Like, you literally could talk about football all day long. You can talk about the new dress that just came out at JCPenney's, or you can talk about the new Nike thing. I don't even know what that's about. But, like, you can talk about these things for hours and hours and hours. You can talk about your negative, all the negative in your life. You can talk about the opinions you have. You can cause arguments and spread negativity so quickly. But to spread a little positivity, apparently, is hard. Excuse me? What? And it kills me, because, like, there's so much you guys can say. There's, like, you can say one word that will spark something in somebody's mind, like that. Like, that just turns everything around in their lives, like, in their brains, in their hearts, in their soul, like, just everything. And you don't know this. You don't think about this. But, like, I actually had a girl come up to me here a couple months ago. I barely knew this chick. Like, I didn't know who she was. But she came up to me, she goes, "Sweetheart, thank you so much." And I'm like, "For what?" And she goes, "A couple of years ago, you came up to me, and you said hi, and we were sitting there, and we were talking, and I was like, okay, like, what's going on here? Like, I don't know what's going on." And she was telling me, she was just like, when we were talking, when you were like, "So you like talking about Jesus?" Like, when you said that, it threw something at me, and I was not a Christian. I was not walking with God at all. I had a really bad situation in life. I was in the party scene. I was into drugs and alcohol, and my kids ended up in state's care, like, and this girl was just going on to me, and I literally, like, I wanted to die because I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is awful. And that day, I remember the day that she was talking about, I went up to her and I was just like, hey, how are you? And she was like, I'm good. And I was like, you like talking about Jesus? And she goes, sure. So she kind of seemed a little confused and standoffish, and granted, it made things a little bit awkward at first, but at the same time, we had a really good conversation, and I got to, like, enlighten her on a lot of stuff that I didn't even realize I was enlightening her about. But she tells me, she was like, well, I just wanted to let you know, I didn't think I would ever see you again, but I want to let you know you actually saved me. And I was like, may I ask how? And she goes, well, I'm saved. I've been going to church for a year now. I got my kids back. I've been sober for a year and a half, and I'm clean. And I was like, that is so awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. And she was like, thank you so much for just letting me know about God, because I didn't really ever think about it. That right there, guys, all I did was go up to somebody and say, hey, you like talking about Jesus? Like, that's all I said. And that small action, small action for me of taking that extra step ended up turning into something amazing. And now that woman is actually in college, and she's got her kids back, and she's doing so good. I don't actually keep in contact with her, but she told me what was going on, so when we actually ran into each other, I was surprised she recognized me. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys, is just be honest. Just completely be honest with your faith. Be completely honest with your friends. Be completely honest with your gang, your friends, your family, just everything in your life. Be honest, because there are so many people out there that just want that little bit of, and they don't even realize they want it. But they're like, oh, I actually want this. And it's so astounding. Like, it's crazy. It's so crazy. But anyway, this brings me to another verse, and it is Proverbs 10:2. And it says, treasures of the wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivereth from death. So there's that, and there is also this verse, and it is 1 John 1:6. And this one kind of honestly hit me hard when I was reading this, because I was like, wow, this actually goes along with the whole, like, that popular example I used a little bit in the video. But it honestly hit me, because it says, if we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. That hit me, you guys, because it's a legit thing. There are so many people in this world that walk around and are like, I'm the Christian, I'm good, I'm a good person, like, I don't do bad things, blah, 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 do. Like, all of that. Now, so when it's saying, if we say we have fellowship with him, that means we're walking the walk, like, we're walking the walk, talking the talk with Jesus, non-stop. That's basically what that's saying. But when it says, walk in darkness, that means if we're saying we have a relationship with God, if we're saying we're really deep into our word, that's basically saying that we have fellowship with God. Now, but when we're not having fellowship with God and we're just saying that and we're walking a dark path, then we need to fix that. Like, that's what that verse is saying, because when you say that you're walking in fellowship with God, but you're really not, and you're walking in darkness, you're lying. And lying is a sin, y'all. It's a sin. So, that is what's going on. That is what I have for you guys today. So, I hope this video helps. I hope that you guys take something from this and learn something, because I am very unsure, because sometimes I don't make sense. But I hope this makes sense to you. But I will see you guys later. Little Echo Strawberry out. Bye!